All right, Glacier mattress, big name, tons of cooling promises. I've tested dozens of mattresses in this price point, and honestly, pretty much all of them make the same claims. And today, we're gonna find out if this one here, the Glacier Original Hybrid, actually backs those claims up, or if it's just another marketing gimmick. Hi, my name is Ethan and this is Sleepline. We are a mattress review channel that gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly for all things mattresses and sleep. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing this bed right here across 5 distinct categories, with those categories being comfort, motion isolation, pressure relief, temperature regulation, and finally, value of the bed. At the end of this review, we're gonna aggregate those scores together and let you know if this is a mattress that 1, lives up to the promises of extreme cooling, and 2, is worth your money, or if it's better off left in this review. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the first category, with that being comfort. So in terms of overall firmness, the Glacier Original Hybrid comes in at about a 6.5 out of 10, which lands it right at a medium firm. This is a bed that's going to do really well for pretty much all back sleepers and stomach sleepers as well. But if you are a mid-size to larger side sleeper, you're probably not gonna find that this bed provides enough pressure relief for you. And by the way, when I say mid-size in this case, I'm talking about anybody 150 pounds and above. So if that is you, you might find this bed to be just a bit too firm. What's interesting here is that you wouldn't quite think that upon first touching this mattress. The quilted top that they're using feels really soft and really nice. But when you lay down and distribute your weight across the surface of the bed, it becomes quite apparent that, hey, this thing is firm. I can feel these coils pushing back. I don't really feel the coils individually per se, but I definitely can feel the firmness that they're contributing. And because of that, I myself would not want to sleep on this bed. For reference, I weigh about 170 pounds and I am a side sleeper. And for me, this thing would be way too firm. Now, like I said, you can feel those coils pushing back on you in this mattress. You don't feel the individual coils, you just feel that firmness and you feel that responsiveness more so than anything. This is a bed that is very easy to change positions in. So if you are a combination sleeper, say you sleep on your side and your back, or your side, back, and stomach, this bed will serve you very well because you can easily change positions. Now, you will find, like we said, if you tend to prefer sleeping on your side as a combination sleeper, you're probably gonna be doing that less, which isn't really all of a bad thing there, unless you're, of course, going over onto your stomach. By the way, sleeping on your back is the healthiest way to sleep, followed by sleeping on your side, and then stomach sleepers actually have it the worst long-term in terms of spinal alignment, back pain, pretty much everything. We really don't recommend sleeping on your stomach at all, but we understand, hey, the way you sleep is the way you sleep, and it's really, really hard to change. I know, because I myself have been trying to convert to back sleeping for about 2 years now, and I still end up on my side every single morning. So what you have ingrained is what you have ingrained. And the good thing is we can mitigate the negative factors with the proper mattress. So like we said, for back sleepers and stomach sleepers, this bed's gonna do good. The pressure relief is pretty well distributed and the firmness is just about where you would want it to be. Side sleepers, beware of this mattress because for pretty much all side sleepers below 170 pounds, I would not recommend this mattress. In terms of comfort overall, keep in mind this is a subjective category and we do rate it off of the price point of the bed, which this bed comes in at a pretty good price point. More on that later. Comfort comes in at a 7.5 out of 10 or just above average. By the way, 7.0 is what we consider average here on the channel. You may be looking at other mattress review channels and notice that they often give like, every mattress is a 94 out of 100 or a 91 out of 100 or whatever, and they all rate within like 1 point of each other. We take a little bit more decisive approach here in terms of what we recommend and the ratings that we give. Wait, where were we? Oh, edge support. All right, back to the review. For a mattress at this price point, the edge support is decent. It's passable. You can utilize the entire sleep surface of this mattress. But if you're a person who likes to sit on the edge of their bed, if you put your socks on or your shoes, please don't put your shoes on in your bedroom, then you're going to notice that this mattress definitely compresses. You can see here, I'm compressing down into the mattress as I sit. Now, laying down, different story. Bed does just fine. Like you can see here with me sitting on the side, the edge support is definitely just a little bit lacking. Now, compared to other mattresses at this price point, this is pretty much average overall. It's definitely doing better than most foam mattresses, but as far as hybrids go, there's nothing really special here. They say that they have 2 rows of edge coils here on this mattress, and I'm sure that they do, but the difference in how thick those coils are or the tension that they're aligned to doesn't seem to be very much to me. Now, there are pros and cons with that, just like, well, pretty much everything in the world of mattresses. The pro is when you transition from the actual sleep surface of the bed to the edge portion, you don't really notice it. It's a really nice, smooth, easy transition. The drawback is the edge support is just a little weak when you are sitting on the side of your bed. Now, for those of you who have a partner in this mattress, one thing you need to be mindful of when you're looking at edge support is if a mattress has really lacking edge support, you're going to have to scoot into the center of the bed, which is going to mean you're sleeping closer to your partner, you're feeling their movements more, heat is building up more, and you're really going to be sleeping in essentially like a full mattress in some cases, even if you purchase a queen. Like we said, that's not the case here. You can utilize the full sleep surface of this bed, barring that you and your partner are not both over 220 pounds. So in terms of edge support overall, we give the Glacier Original Hybrid a 7.5 out of 10. And that brings us to the big one, temperature regulation. With the name Glacier, you would expect this mattress to be incredibly cool. After all, that's kind of what they've built their entire brand around. So how does the Glacier Original Hybrid fare in terms of cooling? Well, let's dive into it. And by the way, I'm not going to be talking about their patented technologies because pretty much every mattress company has a patented technology that's very similar to everyone else. Now, if they were doing something that was actually unique here, I would let you know, I would tell you about it, but they're putting fancy names on off-the-shelf technology that a lot of other companies are using. So without the names in the way, let's talk about what you have. You have a cooling cover at the very top of this mattress, and it does feel pretty dang cool for about 30 seconds. How cooling works for pretty much every cooling cover, by the way, it is a game of density. So what they do is they put materials that are a little bit more dense than what you might have in the cover. So they might use something like bamboo or rayon in the top of this mattress. Glacier doesn't really tell us what they're using. They just tell us that it's their Glacier tech. But it doesn't really matter. And let me explain. So the way that these cooling materials work is a game of density, and you can test this wherever you are. If you have a desk in front of you or a wall, go ahead and touch it. Does it feel cool to the touch? Most likely, depending on where you are, the answer is yes. And the reason for that is not because it's actually cooler, but because it's more dense, which does pull heat away from you. The problem comes in when we start to talk about capacity. A cooling cover like this has a capacity that's going to be pretty much mitigated all in about 30 seconds. And that's true of pretty much every cooling cover on the market, including this one here. Now, this particular cover is also moisture wicking, and I got to give props to Glacier there because not everyone's cooling cover is. Beneath that, in the center of this mattress, they have their graphite infused memory foam, which does a better job at cooling than memory foam, but it's kind of like lower effect, bigger capacity compared to the cooling cover, essentially, if you're like looking at it that way. So the cooling effect is there, and it has a higher capacity because the material is thicker and because it can absorb more heat. However, it still is a memory foam, and if there's one thing you need to know about memory foam, it is that it is notorious for trapping heat. So while the graphite infused memory foam in the lumbar section may feel cool initially, after about 30 minutes, heat is actually going to start to build up in this mattress on you, because memory foam is that top layer just beneath the quilting. And not only that, the entire layer beneath the lumbar support is also more memory foam. Honestly, a little bit surprising to me because this bed doesn't really feel like a memory foam mattress at all. It feels more like your traditional bed. And with a name like Glacier, I'm surprised that they're using a material that sleeps so dang hot in the top layers of their mattress. But at least they're using gel-infused memory foam, which is similar to graphite-infused memory foam. Honestly, as a consumer, the difference is pretty much negligible between the two. They're both going to cool you down for a period of time, and then they're going to begin to retain heat. Beneath that, they have their perforated foam layer, which they call arc flow. Basically, what this does is it's a comfort foam, which does breathe better than memory foam, significantly so, and they've perforated it along the entirety of the bed. This is actually pretty cool to see in a mattress at this price point, and it's pretty nice in terms of temperature regulation overall, because if the memory foam has something beneath it to continue to pull heat away from you throughout the night, then that buildup of heat will slow down. Now, it's not going to stop in this bed given how much heat that there is, but that perforated layer of foam is going to make a pretty big difference, especially compared to other mattresses that are using multiple layers of memory foam. You will absolutely notice a difference. They've got a little bag that each coil goes in. Usually it's made out of some type of fabric, and it breathes just fine. It does allow airflow decently enough. So knowing all of that is really great, but how does it actually compare to other mattresses, especially other mattresses in this price point? Glacier is a bit of a stretch. More like cool breeze, maybe like nice breeze or something. I don't know. I'm not a marketer, but this definitely is not like a cool sleeping mattress. It's not a notable standout feature in my opinion. It does, however, do better than a lot of mattresses that claim to be cooling, which is pretty much every single mattress out on the market these days. This bed does perform above average in terms of your temperature regulation and what you can expect, but it's not a standout feature that really warrants an entire name and brand built around our bed is super, super cool. In terms of temperature regulation, we give the Glacier Original Hybrid a 8 out of 10. And that takes us to motion isolation. Like we talked about earlier in the comfort section of this review, this bed is a responsive feeling mattress. I didn't really feel the memory foam layers when I was laying on it. It felt more like your traditional mattress, and that's because this bed was just so dang responsive. It was very easy to move. It was very easy to change positions, which is a pretty good thing for most combination sleepers. But the drawback is motion isolation in this bed is not very good. You will feel your partner moving if they toss and turn a lot in bed, or if you guys get up and go to work at different times or come home and go to sleep at different times. This mattress is not going to be doing you any massive favors in terms of motion isolation. You can see here, I'm tossing this bowling ball, and as I bounce on the other side of the bed, the bowling ball is moving quite a bit. That is actually something that surprised me about this mattress. Now, if you haven't had issues waking up because your partner is in the mattress in the past, you still probably won't have them here, but if your partner moves a lot, you're going to have problems. Now, I know hearing that, it might sound like, oh, the motion isolation is a terrible thing here. No, it's not terrible. It's just not great. It's not good. And it's actually a little bit below average. And because of that, we give motion isolation a 6 out of 10. And that brings us to the final category, which is value and durability of the bed. So real quick, let's talk about durability. Everything here gets a green check mark from us in terms of durability. Stitching is good. Layers are constructed well. You're not having any shift in the layers, which can sometimes be a problem. And thankfully, that's not a problem here. The quality of the materials that they're using are expected here. They're not cheaping out on any of their components. They're giving you materials that fit the price point of this mattress. There's no egregious spot where like, whoa, they're cheaping out there. So like, that's really nice. The problem comes in when we talk about value. We've reviewed other mattresses like the Helix Midnight that are at a pretty similar price point to this bed, but they offer a better feature set and in some cases, better quality materials as well. And I think a lot of that comes down to the perforated foam layer that they're using in this mattress. That's not really a standard off-the-shelf component. I mean, it is, but it's an off-the-shelf component at a higher price point, and you're getting that here in this bed. However, I think because of that, they've had to sacrifice the thickness of their memory foams above, and that's created a firmer feeling mattress. Now, that's not a problem for back or stomach sleepers really like at all, but if you're a side sleeper looking at this bed and you sleep hot, just know that one, it's probably gonna be a little bit too firm for you, and two, the cooling isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Even though they're choosing that ventilated foam layer, which is a bit of a premium option at this price point, and by the way, that ventilated layer isn't really any more durable than any of the other materials that they're putting in this bed, so it doesn't increase durability. It just helps a little bit with airflow. In terms of durability, you can expect about 5 solid years out of this mattress before it begins to degrade on you. And yeah, I know all these companies want to tell you our mattresses last 10 years, 20 years, a lifetime. Don't worry, you're going to love it. That's just not the case. The fact of the matter is you're going to be sleeping on this bed 8 hours a day, every single day for years. And while your warranty may cover you for a very, very long time, the materials degrading due to natural wear and tear, that's not covered by warranty. So when we talk about warranty duration versus comfort life of a bed, we have to understand there is a difference. And in this case, you're gonna get about 5, maybe 6 years of comfort life out of this bed, which isn't a shocker. That's exactly what you'd expect for a mattress at this price point. Now, there are some people who buy a mattress and go well beyond the comfort life. Like if you're on a mattress and you're like, I've been on this bed for 15 years, you're probably gonna be on this one for 10. But the average person watching this video, if that is you, will most likely replace this mattress in about 5 years. Overall value, aside from that perforated foam layer, which I said kind of detracts in other areas of the mattress, the value is about the expectation here. This isn't like a killer mattress for the price, but it's definitely not like a bad deal either. It's just about average. I mean, really almost everything about this mattress is just about average, give or take a point one way or another. And the case is no different here. This is a 7 out of 10 in terms of value and durability. So to sum it all up, let's talk a little bit about the cons, because that's what you're really looking for when you're shopping for a mattress. Most mattresses are pretty great these days. You're gonna be hard pressed to find a mattress that one is made to terrible standards and two is just a massive ripoff. Most beds are pretty safe and pretty dang similar to each other. So it's really a question of what are the deal breakers? And this bed does have a few of them. One, if you're a side sleeper, this bed is not going to offer you enough pressure relief to sleep comfortably. You're going to wake up feeling it in your shoulders, feeling it in your hips, and you're going to end up tossing and turning. And becoming a combination sleeper, even if it's one side to the other. 2, the cooling in this bed is definitely overhyped. It's better than what you're gonna find on average, but it is not head and shoulders above the rest like they are saying it is, and that is pretty disappointing. I was really hoping that I was gonna be able to say, hey, this bed checks all the boxes and it's super cool sleeping. It's not, unfortunately. It does do better than average, but it is not an absolute standout feature that makes this bed a must purchase for someone struggling with temperature regulation. Overall, our scores aggregate out to a 7 out of 10, which is a C- overall. That's compared against all mattresses that we review. If you're looking at mattresses at this price point, well, again, it's a 7 out of 10. It's an average mattress. So with that in mind, who would want to buy this mattress? Well, if you're a stomach and a back sleeper and you want to be under $800 for your bed, which is what this comes in at the time of this review in a queen, then this is going to be a good pick. You're going to be getting a slightly elevated level of temperature regulation, and you're going to be getting the firmness that you need. If you're that person, then this mattress could be a great pick for you at a great price point. However, we do need to state that if you're a person who is over 220, 230 pounds, I would actually begin to look elsewhere because this mattress is just not going to offer you the support and durability that you will need. Now, if you're willing to spend just a little bit more money, this category has really strong competitors like DreamCloud, Helix, and Purple. And that's actually where I would recommend almost everybody who watches this video to transition into. Those mattresses start a couple $100s more, but you're going to be getting a lot better experience overall. Now, if you are just like hard limit on your budget, then this is going to be one of the best options under that $800 price point. But if we talk about under $1,000, this bed is just average, and category with really strong contenders, average isn't something to get excited about. Anyway, my name is Ethan. Thank you for watching this review. If you liked this content, please go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe to our channel for more open, honest, and transparent reviews right here at Sleepline.